Welcome back to Texas.
Good to be back, Jason.
What does a win look like for you here in this state? Polls are showing that Bernie Sanders has surged ahead here recently.
Well, I think a win is just doing well. I don't think I have to win. I'm looking forward to that possibility. I think we have to do well.
Big night for you for endorsements. Congratulations on those.
Thank you.
I'm curious, have you reached out to President Obama to ask him for his endorsement? Wouldn't that be a huge boon to your campaign?
Look, I asked the president when we started not to endorse me because I knew that if he endorsed me, it would be viewed as I was entitled somehow to the job. I had to earn it on my own. I speak with the president, we're friends, and those conversations are private, but I have not asked him to endorse me, no.
Would you change that now that it seems like moderates are kind of coalescing around you in your campaign?
No, I think, look, when I get the nomination, assuming I do get the nomination, he's going to be in full bore in this campaign, and I feel good about that.
Mr. Vice President, in South Carolina the other night after your win there, congratulations on that. You said talk about revolution isn't changing anyone's life. We need real changes right now. I'm curious what you say to Sanders voters who feel like you and the Democratic Party have kind of left them behind.
We haven't left them behind. Look, the fact is that Bernie has really, really solid supporters. But we have to get things done. People are looking for a revival of the decency and honor, and Bernie's capable of that. But the other piece of this is we've got to win the House and the Senate. We've got to keep the House and win the United States Senate. And Bernie's a good guy, but Bernie's plans are, the idea we're going to raise $35 billion for Medicare for all when we can do it by expanding on Obamacare. The idea that there's not an explanation how he's going to find $60 trillion over 10 years to pay for all he has. I think it's important that candidates level and be authentic with the American people. Tell them how much it's going to cost, who's going to have to pay for it. And like when he talked about it in the debate, he said, well, there's going to be a 6.5% tax on your employer. He didn't tell the other half. That's another 6.5% also on you and your withholding. Just like doubling Social Security tax. I think it's important to be able to demonstrate that what you're proposing, you can get done. I can get done what I'm proposing.
Talk about process and mechanics of the campaign. How do you get the Sanders folks to look at what you're presenting and saying, hey, you know what, we might ought to go with Vice President Biden?
Well, I respect the fact they may want to stay with Sanders and they think he can get done what he's saying. But I hope what will happen is the whole party comes together, whichever of us win, assuming it gets down to he and I. And whomever wins, I'm going to support whoever the candidate is, and I believe my colleagues and my supporters will. I hope that's the same case with Bernie.
Is Mike Bloomberg spoiling your chances in Texas?
I don't know. I don't think so. Look, Mike spent a lot of money, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars so far. But, he's a good guy. But the problem is, look, like I said with all those folks outside there, I said, we're looking to a Democrat. We need a Democrat. Mike is not a Democrat. He's just recently become a Democrat and named to run for the White House, but Mike's views are very different. And you guys are going to start to do now what you did legitimately with me from the time I got in. You looked at every single vote I ever cast. You made judgments about whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, and that's happening to Mike now.
Last question. Biggest worry going into Super Tuesday, what is it?
Well, I'm not a prognosticator here. I don't worry about anything other than, do the people know what I'm proposing? Because I think, look, I have an advantage and disadvantage. The American people know me. And so I think they know my heart, they know my ideas, and I just hope people just show up and vote.
All right, thank you for the time.